Hello again, word lovers, and today we're going to look at words that originated in the jazz age, more or less the 1920s, starting with jazz, and as a by-the-by, some other forms of music. Jazz itself, and I'll read probably ultimately from Creole patois, jass, meaning strenuous activity, may be their way of saying sexual intercourse. I think it's generally agreed it's a word, a substitute for having sex, however you want to say that, as is the term rock and roll. A note here says it was used of congo dances and it comes from a word jasm, attested to 1860, meaning energy, drive. Okay, we'll go for that. If you're interested in the word jism, look that up as well. It will say see jazz. In fact, the word jazz kind of sneaked into polite society without people knowing what it really meant. Ragtime, around about the same period, possibly ragged, raggedy beat. That's the best we've got for that, I'm afraid. Preceding jazz and ragtime, we have the blues. I think that's generally agreed to be from a term for feeling down, feeling unhappy. The first ever song called The Blues appeared in 1912, Dallas Blues by Hart Wand, and this in turn coming from musical theatre, it seems, a show as far back as 1798 called Blue Devils. Rock and roll's first use in public was 1951 radio show by Alan Freed, the Moondog Rock and Roll House Party, but the idea of rocking in music gave its name also to a rock steady music, possible etymology, rock steady, reggae, possibly also from raggedy clothes. Those are two versions of etymologies for reggae. Funk, still in some circles, means a bad smell. From French funkier, to smoke. That's a dialectical French, not dictionary French. I haven't been able to find a connection here. Funk, it seems to mean bad smelling in some aspect, but why and why it was adapted, I don't know. Boogie Woogie at the same time comes from the name for a rent party, a big house party to celebrate having paid the rent. Hurrah! Was known as a boogie. I don't know why. Hot dogs became available around then, so called because the meat was reputed to be, and probably was, of bad quality, jokingly thought to be dog meat. Gig made its appearance, meaning a musical event around then, but that was in another video. The jazz musicians could be cool, hip, far out. They could jam together. Another mystery etymology here. It seems to be being in a jam, being in a fix, having to improvise, possibly. Jam itself seems to be from yum yum, chomp chomp, onomatopoeic word. Schmaltzy music. Oh, we don't want that. That means made fatty in Yiddish. And improvising came to be called noodling if it was bad, or a train wreck was also used. But the idea of improvising in general, busking, not particularly jazz age, it's from 1857, meaning to offer goods for sale in bars and tap rooms. Could be a nautical etymology, kind of ships. Busking on a ship was to cruise as a pirate. Scat singing made its appearance in 1926 when Louis Armstrong was recording Heebie Jeebies. He dropped the word sheet, the lyric sheet, as he was recording and had to improvise, and so made up some nonsense syllables. This apocryphal tale is confirmed by Mr. Armstrong, but that doesn't make it less apocryphal. And nor was it the first existence of scat singing. It had been done before. Scat, the word, seems to just be onomatopoeic as well, something you can repeat. The meaning in those days was to go away. Scat, get out of here, scat. No better guesses than that, I'm afraid. So lots of words came to us from the 1920s and from this jazz era. I've only mentioned very few of them, and a lot of them with etymologies which are very recent. We have had little recourse to pie in this instalment. So long, all you swinging hepcats, until next time. And in case you think the old 1920s words are no use a century later, think on if you ever talk about cocktails, sweatshirts, t-shirts, car parks, fridges, zips, robots, science fiction, microclimates. You get the idea.